Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this pre-recorded and this a predicted lineup show before the big game on Sunday against Arsenal. Welcome to Tottenham Team Talks, where we like to do things a little bit different here on this channel, where everyone else is doing their predicted lineups. We're sort of rebranding it really and rebranding it out there as Tottenham Team Talks as we go over the team news plus then the predicted lineup, then see the players that we have picked that we think is going to win that specific match we have coming up. And of course, it's no difference. We've got the biggest North London derby, 4 miles separate Tottenham and Arsenal, Arsenal or Tottenham across the North London divide, N17 against N5. And it's probably one of the biggest games of the season for me. Yes, I know Chelsea and West Ham, all the London derbies are big, but this is the daddy of them all. One of the biggest derbies in the world, too. I would say in the top 4 or 5 of derbies. Yes, you've got the Glasgow derby, you've got the Milan derby, you've got El Clasico, probably Ajax's derby as well. I don't know if Ajax have a derby. Maybe they do, maybe don't. I don't know. But also the North London derby, I think it's up there. Of course, I know you've got the Liverpool, you've got the Merseyside derby, you've got the Manchester derby, and then you've got Southampton against Portsmouth. But I think the daddy of them all in London is Tottenham versus Arsenal. Always a big game, always an intriguing one. And we haven't done well at the Emirates. The last time we won there, guys, was back in 2010 when we won 3-2. We come from 2-0 down to win 3-2 at the end of that game. But since then, it's been woeful there. We did get a draw in Ange Postecoglou's first game there as manager in the North London derby. We came from 2-1 down to get a draw. Could have probably nicked it that day, if my memory serves me correctly. But we're going there in very good away form. We're going there, one of the best away teams in the league, playing one of the best home teams in the league. Arsenal only one defeat this season, top of the league, 4 points clear, I think, of second place. So, look, and as tight as the Premier League is, that game on Sunday could move us from where we are back into the top 4, or could put us back into a European place again. So let's see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous, but looking forward to it. But guys, let's get into the latest team news. And this is the latest team news. We have Sarr, Bergville, Kolo, and Kudus all trained and available for Arsenal, which is fantastic news. It's the boost that Thomas Frank needed. It's the boost that we needed. That some of these players we know can come in and do a job. Yes, kudos for Brennan Johnson. Yes, Kolo in for Richarlison. I would start him. I know he's got a rare protective mask over his jaw, but I would still start him on Sunday. Papa Sarr and Bergville in there if he wants to change anything up in the midfield. Dragusin, which is great news to hear, very close to competitive minutes. Yes, he had a pre-season game in friendly in the international break. He had 45 minutes, which is great to see. So he's got a little bit of minutes under his belt, but nothing is like Premier League minutes. Premier League football, getting your minutes, getting your fitness, which is great. And then, of course, Ben Davies, Kota, Tataki, who we haven't seen yet since his summer move to Tottenham, and Archie Gray all returned to full training today. No Dominic Solanke is not ready yet, and no word on Kulusevski as well, guys. Do pardon me for that. Well, let's get into the team. Let's get into it. And this is the team that I have picked to face Arsenal. Now, I know I've picked Kudos. I know I've picked Kolo. I know there could be a chance they could be starting on the bench, but if they're ready and if they want to play, I think it's a big game. We have to do it. I'm going to read the whole team out and then I'm going to go through them individually then on my thoughts on why I have picked them for this game. So we're starting with Vicario and goal, going with the back four of your doggy, Mickey van der Ven, Christian Romero, captain, the leader, the engine of our team. We've got Jen Spence in for Porro. We've got a midfield 3 of Bentancur, Paulinho, and Xavi in the 10. And then we've got a front tree of Odegaard, Kolo, and Kudus. Now, Vicario, look, I know Vicario's been frustrating this season. He's been a major talking point in some games. Vicario has shown good form this season, but there has been times where he's let the side down. But I still trust him as a number 1 for the time being. He's a very good goalkeeper who any good goalkeeper will have bad games. But he's coming into his prime, and this is a big game. We haven't got another goalkeeper to take its place, to be fair. You put Kinski in I think Kingsley, he's been underwhelmed in training. I think he's having his confidence drained from him at the moment for some reason. I think he needs to go out on loan. So either in January or next summer, we're going to need to look for another goalkeeper to really push Vicario, keep him on his toes. But for the moment, he is our number one. In Vicario, we trust. Yes, have I been critical of him this season? Yes, I have. Have I been frustrated with him? I have been. But as I said, out the three keepers we've got, I think he's the better out of the lot of them. So Vicario gets the nod for me. Now back four, centre back pairing, Romero and Mickey van der Ven go together like bread and jam. They go together like milk and tea or milk and honey. You can't pair them. They know each other's games, and when they play, I feel our back four is a more solid back four because they have that trust with Vicario as well. They have that knowledge of him. I do for the fullbacks. I've gone with your doggy. Your doggy for me better on the left than Spence as a link up better with who's over on the left hand side with his overlaps. Also, I think he's a better defender than Jed Spence on the left. On the right hand side, I've gone for Spence over Porro. The reason for that, Porro needs a rest. We all know that. I think he's more mentally and physically. He's more mentally tired and also physically tired as well. But I think Spence gives you that better width on the right hand side, also that better sort of defensive plan as well. It was pointed out to me the other day that for Jed Spence, he does get up forward, he does link up well with Kudos, yes, he does perform well. But when it comes to defending against Arsenal, which Arsenal have a very good team at the moment, you're going to need him there. And I feel Porro just lets you down a little bit. But let me know, guys, what you think of the comments. Do you agree with my back five? Yay or nay? Let me know. Would you start Porro instead of Spence? Do you start with your doggy? And let me know what you think of Vicario. Look, he, when we really need him, he never lets us down. But there's been times he has done. There's been a few games this season where I think instead of catching, he's tried to punch. And I feel that he's been caught a few times. Yeah, I've been critical of his marking and of his positioning. Yeah, I think he was at fault for the Man City goal, where other people say no, it wasn't Vicario's fault, it was Brendan Johnson's fault. But I think it's easy to blame Brendan Johnson. I mean, he's been blamed for everything else. Why not just blame him for that as well? So, and I think his position could have been better. I think Bentacle has to take responsibility. But it was explained to me by a goalkeeper that Vicario's positioning was not the greatest for that equalising goal. So look, let me know what you think in the comments below about Vicario as well. Do we need an upgrade him in the summer next year? Now, midfield three, I've gone with the old tried and tested double pivot of Palunia and Bentacore. Look, away from home, they've been fantastic. I think Palunia for me has been a DM we've been waiting for a long time. And he gets stuck in, he gives his all. When Bentacore away from form, they've been good together. They have been. You look at Man City away from home. And I think they complement each other. At home, I don't think you need to play them together at home. I think you can be a bit more attacking minded at home. Probably play Paulino as that holding midfield and then play two set an 8 and a 10. Or maybe play two tens when Kubiceski is fit. So for me, away from home, I think it's a no-brainer. Now I've gone with Xavi in 10. Look, I prefer Xavi on the left because I think you get more out of him on the left. He's not a number 10 at the moment for me. Look, he played well against Copenhagen. To be fair, it's Copenhagen. I think, I mean, they gave him plenty of room, plenty of space. He had time to settle on the ball, look around where the passer was going or where his connection, and he was linking up well with Odebear and Brennan Johnson on the wings. But again, it's Copenhagen. It wasn't an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Chelsea or Manchester United. Look at Chelsea when he played in that 10 row. 10 row, he looked very scared on the ball. He didn't want to give. He went for the same safe pass all the time, which for me, I think as a 10, you're going to have to be a little bit more expansive, a little bit more open, and try to create something for the front three to sort of get onto. But for at the moment, I think he's our only option for 10. And then when you go for the front three, you go for Kudus, Kulu, and Odebear. I think Odebear's really showing what he can do this season. He's really improving. He really is playing some good football. Colo up front. Look, I know we all frustrated with him because he didn't score against Copenhagen, but his overall game, his overall play, like he's picking up the ball and getting into spaces, I think is improving all the time. And the chance he did have, and he realized very quickly, I'm not going to score here. He become very unselfish and laid it on for Odebear to get that goal against Copenhagen. And by God, have we missed Kudus on the right? We really have. Brennan Johnson, look, he scores a worldie for Wales, but why can he not do that for Tottenham? Um, and okay, you may say it was only North Macedonia, but a goal is a goal. And you see, he took on his man, but Kudos does that. He takes on his man. He's a man that can create stuff. He's a man that will cause havoc in that Arsenal defense. And I think with Arsenal losing Gabriel as well out of their back line, that is going to affect them and make them a little bit unbalanced, I think. But, we have to wait and see how Arteta fixes that particular problem. But for me, I think this is the best team that he can put out to get a job done and get a result at the Emirates. Look, are we going to win? I hope so. I really do hope so. But look, if we get a draw, I'd be ecstatic. I think a draw would be a great result. If we get a win, I'd be on cloud nine. I really will be. Um, I mean, for Christ's sake, if Ireland can go and beat Portugal and Hungary and qualify for a World Cup playoff, I know they have 1 point after 3 games. Then I think Tottenham going to the Emirates and getting a victory, then anything's possible. But yeah, what a way it would be to end an international break and start the Premier League season with Spurs going to the Emirates and winning the game. I mean, that would be fantastic. All dreams. And then we've got PSG on Wednesday. So it's an important few days for Tottenham, important few days for Thomas Frank. Two massive, massive games. And you get to see them here all on THFC until we die. All your pre-match stuff for the Arsenal, all your pre-match for PSG as well. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you can for me, if you can. Join me tomorrow at 3 o'clock with my pre-game thoughts. And then I think I'm on Football Takeover at 6:30, I think. So join me there. So join Bobby and the gang, talking all things Tottenham Arsenal. I'm going to try to banter them the best way I can. And then, of course, we're on at 4:15 on Sunday with the watch along. Of course, I am on We Are Tottenham TV as well. So come and join me there as well if you can. But enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Come on, you Spurs. And Thomas Frank we trust. We never stop. Let's get a win at the Emirates.